It's a Dazzler port, channel 108, the only channel you need to watch, the only channel you need to see. Channel you watch, channel I see. Not here to impress, only to express. Today's Saturday, the 23rd of August, 2025. It'll soon be Christmas, 2033. It'll soon be Easter, 2040, when the vapor canopy returns. In the woods, in the forest, in the silence, in the tranquility of nature. Autumn leaves are coming already. There's a little bit of a prematureness going on. Normally don't get so many autumn leaves in August. You get a few, but it's more like September now. Hot summer, could be to do with the climate manipulation. There are a lot of golden leaves going on. Yeah, and the bracken's going yellow now. It's madness how fast time flies by. Like I say, it'll soon be Christmas 2033, won't it? Only 12 years to go. So as I'm talking, things are kicking off in the UK. We've got the so-called far right singing Sweet Caroline outside migrant motels. Sweet Caroline, that's the anthem at the Tommy Tards, Tommy Robinson, Tel Aviv Tommy followers, all singing the anthem Sweet Caroline. And Nigel Farage, of course, they're all winning, they're all gaining more popularity amongst a large percentage of a big percentage, you could say, of the British population, indigenous, white, and even blacks and Asians as well, who've been born and bred here, have the same sentiment regarding unrestricted migration flooding into the country. Apparently, I saw on a headline, there's 111,000 illegal migrants now in the UK, you know, 111,000. And the number keeps growing. An interesting number, 111, eh? 3. Bit of a Masonic number going on there. Yeah, and of course you've got all the, you know, they go outside the hotel singing Sweet Caroline, and down in Bournemouth last week, or the week before, I think it was, the Roundhouse Hotel, the Rise Above crew were down there, who incidentally, I've decided to go down there tomorrow and see the guys off the last minute, kind of like a last minute thing really. I'm going to go down there. I'll probably do some vids down there too, meet Lance and the boys, and so many others. Be interesting, that. And they were outside the Roundhouse Hotel doing interviewing, trying to get a balanced view of what was going on. They were going interviewing the right side of things, and they went to the left side of things, and the right side of things, they were more amiable and friendly and ready to talk. Regular people with genuine concerns for you know, young women and young girls getting raped and sexually assaulted, and in some cases killed. You know, this is going on at the hands of these migrants who have completely different. They have a completely and utterly different moral standpoint when it comes to women. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a Scooby how things work over here. The etiquette, their value system is a lot different from ours, and because of their traumatized, some of them come from traumatized areas, from war-torn regions, and you know, cultural, all that stuff. They've been bombarded by during the war of terror, and now these traumatized young men who were children when, a lot of them were probably children when their own family got destroyed, got killed, got burnt. The Afghans in particular, and Iraqis, here they are, you know, over here in the land of their enemies, getting full package benefits, everything paid for, no need to work, can't work, no national insurance number, they don't even know where they are, many of them don't have passports even. They've either burnt them or thrown them in the channel. But anyway, waffling on too much here. So genuine concerns. Went to the left side of the fence, and the lefty types, they really didn't want to talk. They really did not want to talk, and they're very aggressive, spitting vile, saying, "Fascist scum off our streets, racist scum off our streets, refugees are welcome here," and all that kind of stuff. And the cops, even the cops are aggressive as well. You got the cops on that side, very aggressive, protecting the lefties, but the cops on the right side were all okay. They're all friendly and yeah, here we are, come on in, have a chat, blah blah blah. Two-tier policing, isn't it weird how that works? So that's going on, and that's just no example. Canary Wharf in London here. I was thinking to go down there actually. But yeah. Let's have a look, I might do. There's St George's flags going up everywhere now. They're painting the roundabouts with St George's flag, the red cross of St George. The sigil of the Knights Templar, eh? And yeah. And then of course, yeah, back to Bournemouth again, sorry. This guy, the head of the UKIP party was Nick Taccone. He's a really hardcore, hard Christian patriot, and shouting at the leftists saying, "You unholy alliance between the Islamists and the communists." And he's proper right-winger, proper. I mean, and I think he's going to rise to prominence. I think Nigel and Tommy are going to be swept aside when this guy comes to prominence, because this guy's, he means business. And I'm sure he's just another shill. I'm sure he's bought and paid for, Don't trust any of them. These are the false, like Albert Pike says back in the day. It says, "We will supply them with the heroes they need," And they've got them all. Trump, Farage, Tory Robinson, Tony, sorry, not Tony, Nick Saccone, or Taccone. A whole bunch of them. But all sides being played. So we've got this going on in the UK and around the world. The big divide going on now. And people think by rebelling, they think in their defiance, people are putting up the English flag because it's been through the generations with people been programmed to think that the English flag and the Union flag are signs of fascism and Nazism. Look what the British Empire did in the 1800s. Look how they exploited them. Of course, the British Empire did wrong. Of course, the British Empire did wrong. The British Empire spilt much blood. Of course. And but all this is coming up now, and this is like be ashamed of your heritage, be ashamed to be British, be ashamed to be white guilt, like when the BLM movement, taking the needs of black people, reparations, white privilege, white guilt, white genocide, giving money to black people because you owe it them, because your ancestors were slave masters. Fun fact, there's a tribe in Ghana, West Africa, that's super rich. They're very, very wealthy, and they've got that wealth. Their wealth is based upon the slave trade back in the day, and they're still wealthy because of it. They used to sell their own people to the Western slave traders. I'm not sure if they sold to Arabs. I mean, the Arabs were taking black slaves from Africa before the Europeans were. But it's been an ongoing thing, and what people tend to forget is the reality of the situation is these black slaves, right? Black tribes are enslaving each other, right? And one black tribe's an enemy tribe of another tribe, and they'll take prisoners from that tribe in a battle, and they'll become their slaves. So they're slaving each other, right? They'll sell those slaves and even their own people to the slave traders, the foreign slave traders, exchange for guns, gold, or whatever. Anyway, this tribe in Ghana, I forget this, Ashanti tribe, something like that it's called. They're still rich. They're still wealthy. They're still living off the proceeds of slavery over 100 years ago. The amount of wealth they acquired by selling their own people. So all this bollocks about slaves being black and slave traders being white, it's all bollocks, man. It was blacks and whites. It was all about money. It was about economics. It wasn't about race. It was about brutal economics. And I know a guy from Barbados. He's from Barbados origin. His mum and dad are from Barbados, actually. I know this guy, right? And he says his great-great-grandparents, they were plantation owners in Barbados. They actually had their own slaves. They were black slave owners, you know. Some of these plantations, I don't know how many, but some of them weren't just white people owning the plantation. Some were owned by blacks too. And they'd have the black slaves on there. I dare say some of these black slave owners could have had white slaves too. I mean, the Irish were the first slaves to be taken to the Caribbean, as far as I'm aware, when they started colonising the West Indies, and the Brits had Ireland right next door. That was always, Ireland was always fucked over by the Brits, and the first slaves in the West Indies and the Caribbean islands were Irish, and then they were easy to get hold of, but because there's such a shortage of them, the small population, and they need more manpower, that's when they started to go for the blacks in Africa. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there was plantation owners who were black, who had Irish slaves on there, or white slaves. The Irish did mix with the blacks. That's why you've got, like, pretty much all the blacks in the West Indies have got white blood in them, mostly Irish, and they've got Irish names, a Jamaican in particular. And they're not pure blacks, you know. They've got white blood in them somewhere. They say because they got raped by the slave masters. I'm sure that could have been true in some cases. But yeah, anyway, it's bollocks. I've just completely digressed to what I was actually originally going to say about what's going on now. And that is, while this division is going on in England with English flags, populism, right-wingism versus left-wingism, with queer Stalin destroying the country and pissing people off and creating more law. I just found out today that he's made it a law that anybody under the age of 14 is not allowed into McDonald's after 5 o'clock. And a 14-year-old girl was arrested in McDonald's because she was underage. It was after 5 o'clock. I just heard this one today. A friend of mine told me. I mean, well, we already know about the online safety bill and people getting banged up for fucking Facebook posts and Twitter posts and stuff. We already know about that. That's a lady, what a girl, she's just been, woman, I forget her name now. I forgot her name, but she got banged up last year for saying she burned down, she wrote on Twitter, we need to burn down those hotels with the migrants in them, when that whole thing kicked off with the actual murder, you know, the 3 girls get murdered in Southport. An angry tweet, an expression of anger, and she got banged up. I think she got like 18 months for it, but she's been let out on good behaviour just for putting a tweet on a thing. And I think she deleted it after as well, and she apologised. She did it in the heat of the moment, but yeah, this is where we are. Paedophiles getting let out of prison. Nonsense are being protected. Yeah, well, all this is going on anyway. There's still fucking chemtrails. The fucking chemtrails this morning were ridiculous. It's all gone gloomy now. It was a bit sunny earlier on, but I went out earlier on, walking the dog, and it was chemtrails on steroids, you know? Chemtrails on steroids this morning. That's going on. People are still dropping dead from the vaccine. People are still, the new world order's being rolled out. These are big distractions. The digital IDs looming, smart cities looming, Agenda for 2030 is looming. All this is going on, and those on the left side of the fence, and those on the right side of the fence, those on the left cheek of the buttock, and those on the right cheek of the buttock, are effectively playing the game. They are constructing this dystopia that the New World Order tiny hats wish to impose upon us. But apart from all that, everything's tickety-boo, really.